We're here at Fitzy's Marina today. My name is Ken Rossignol with the Chesapeake Today, interviewing John O'Connor, candidate for sheriff. John has won 2 elections as at-large in St. Mary's County as county commissioner. This year he's running for sheriff of St. Mary's County. We're at Fitzy's, which is our outdoor studio of the Chesapeake Today. They're open on weekends, and they are full bore with the best crab cakes in town. John, you have something new that you want to say about your plans for how to use the buildings that the Sheriff's Department will occupy or does occupy. Could you explain that?
Absolutely. One of the goals that I have and I plan on implementing within the first 90 days of being elected sheriff is moving the patrol operations in its entirety in essentially headquarters down to the Lexington Park station, District 4, which is a brand new building. It's more than equipped to house it, and putting the law enforcement officers down in one of the hotbeds that we're seeing the crime in this county. Along with that is that the Leonardtown District 2 will serve as the administrative support services building. So by having the officers down there, they'll be doing roll call, they'll be occupying the building. It'll immediately become a 24/7 operation at that location.
Okay, that kind of makes a lot of sense. Leonardtown is flooded with cops, state troopers and deputies all the time. They're always present, and yet they have a very low crime rate. Do you think this is going to have an immediate effect on the crime rate in Lexington Park?
I think it will have an effect. I think the effect will be immediate, and it'll have the long-term effect on crime, because the officers are going to be down there. They're going to be going to roll call. They're going to be handling their property down there. You know, the 24/7 idea of officers out on the street. Yep, we want our officers out on the street, but also keeping a high activity of officers in the area in a non-enforcement capacity. That presence alone deters crime. So, evident in Leonardtown.
What will that do for the proposed $26 million sheriff's palace in Leonardtown proposal? What happens to that?
Well, I think that we can pull that off the books. The reason for that being is we're properly using the buildings that are currently there, that are not occupied, to include the District 1 station, that the space needs will actually go down. Yes, it's nice to have a brand new headquarters building, but if we can use what we have now and have the commissioners reallocate that money to things that actually are needed, such as addressing the critical shortage of deputies, just not the vacant positions, but the fact that they are way under where they should be for the size of this population.
In the 1990s, the Glenn Denny administration designated Lexington Park as a hotspot for crime and drugs. Crime and drugs in Lexington Park have never gone down. But at the same time, we've seen the current sheriff move his station house around from St. Mary's Square Shopping Center down to the old Carver School, and then coming up with this facility that we have now on Great Mills Road, which we visited a few weeks ago, and there was nobody home at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Nobody answered the bell. Nobody was in the parking lot. It was just empty right in the middle of town. So your plan is going to change that 100%.
100%. Yeah, that building is going to be occupied. It is going to be operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where somebody can go in. And at the same time, we'll have the same thing going in Leonardtown. So if somebody that's in the north or middle of the county needs to go down and get a deputy, they can easily walk in to District 2. But where the high call volume is, where the crime is happening, where the greatest critical need in our county is right now, that's where the headquarters building needs to be. That's where the deputies need to be. That's where the operations need to be run out of.
Traffic, a lot of people are commenting that traffic and speeding and red light violations and everything has gotten so much worse since the COVID hysteria started in a couple of years ago, and yet the motorcycles that the Sheriff's Department has seem to be used only for parades and the county fair. Will they actually be put to work doing traffic work on Route 235?
Yes. Motor units beyond parades, beyond demonstrations, beyond anything, the typical traditional nature of a motor unit is traffic enforcement. They're nimble, they're agile, they can be on the highways. I mean, the best example of that is California Highway Patrol. Everybody's seen CHIPS, right? And not to lessen the value of it, but that's what they can do. They can be out there and doing traffic enforcement. And it's not just along 235, it's along Route 5, it's on Great Mills Road, it's all over the county. And that needs to be integrated into the traffic unit.
John, you've been making leadership a key part of your campaign, and now you're showing that you're willing to reorganize in a very common sense way and deploy the forces that are given the Sheriff's Department by the taxpayers. Is this more of the leadership qualities that you think we've been missing and you will provide?
Absolutely. The people of this county aren't just electing a sheriff, a cop. They're electing a leader that is also a police officer, a sheriff. For the last 8 years and through my career, I've made those leadership decisions. I've made the tough decisions. When it came to public safety in this county, with EMS, our emergency medical services, I put myself out there and I said the people of this county are most important. It doesn't matter what is going to come back from this, but we need to make sure that they are taken care of. That's what I feel the people of this county deserve. That's what I feel that they want, and I believe it 100%, and that's how I guide my decisions. It doesn't matter whether it's an easy decision or a hard decision. I'm willing to put myself out there and take the flack that comes with it. And that's what a true leader needs to do.
One of your opponents was involved and investigated by the Sheriff's Department for being involved in the illegal gambling operation at Woodville Pines in Waldorf. And as soon as he was issued a written reprimand, he retired and then filed to run for sheriff. That is Todd Fleenor. So I have to ask you, have you been involved in the illegal gambling operation in Waldorf?
No.
Okay. And what is your position on it for people in your agency to be involved in such operations?
I shouldn't be involved in it at all.
Okay. All right. That concludes this week's interview of Sheriff candidate John O'Connor. He's running for sheriff of St. Mary's County in the July 19th Republican primary. Thank you, John.